All right, let's see. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Three Crones and the Woo Woo. I am your Dragon Slayer Crone. My name is Gayle Nicholson with Creative Command Coaching and Consulting. To my side, we have Miss Krista Ducharme with our Crystal Crone with wrong company, Dimensional Healing with Krista on Facebook. And then down below, we have supporting us from underneath all the time, Miss Damaris Samolinski with Ask the Genie with Damaris Samolinski. Wow, I'm going to have to just pre-record this shit because I butcher it every week. Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. How are you doing, ladies? Miss Krista is having a little bit of bandwidth issues, and she's muted, so we'll see what she's up to in a minute. Damaris, how was your week?
It's good. It's good. It's pretty good. How about yourself?
It's phenomenal. We have finally gotten enough snow to make it worthwhile up here. You know, it's frustrating when we are dealing with the reality of global, climate shift, global warming, whatever. Whether, you're from the camp that says, oh, it's man-made and we're fucking with Mother Nature, or if you're from the science, camp that goes, this happens to the planet every 10,000 years or so. The poles shift and things, different areas get more warmth and, all that kind of stuff. Or if you're somewhere in the middle like me that goes, well, it could be happening naturally, but we shouldn't be adding to it,
Exactly. I'm with you there.
Yeah. So, this has been a very late start to winter up here in Vermont, which is, Vermont, there are two tourist seasons here. We have the fall foliage that, people from the cities and people from the deserts come to see the maple leaves in, bloom. They're not blooming. They're like just lit in different colors, gorgeous. Yeah. And then we have the winter tourist season, snowboarding, skiing, all of that. So that snowboarding and skiing and snowmobiling has had a really slow start this year. Yeah. But we've had so far, I think, 2 or 3 storms this week that are building on top of each other. Right now, as I speak, I'm watching out the window, watching heavy, wet snow just falling down the branches of the trees as it gets to like 32 and it's not quite freezing weather anymore. And it's just absolutely gorgeous. I've been taking pictures and it's so beautiful. So I'm really grateful for that because the one job that I work up at the general store, it has been very slow. Now the snowmobilers will come. Now it's going to get so busy. I'm not, I'll be running around like a chicken with my head cut off. But loving it all the same. So,
and it looks beautiful when it's falling, Yeah.
It's
we haven't had snow here in New York yet.
No,
not yet.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I imagine it's got to get a lot colder in order for it to not divert the snow around the city, for it to break through that heat barrier that comes up because of, all of the HVAC, the concrete, the asphalt, all of these heat retaining.
I have to correct what I said. Down in Long Island, because upstate in Buffalo, they had like 7 feet.
Oh yeah.
So I should correct that. I said New York. So downstate in Long Island, we haven't really seen snow.
Yeah, I get that. Well, Miss Krista will be back as soon as she can. She's communicating with us from the beyond. And so she'll get back in here as soon as we possibly can. She's working on it. So let's see. What else has happened this past week that we could chat about a bit? Well, just before we started the show, I'm listening to Prince Harry's book on Audible all morning, and I love it. There's, the press is trying to do its thing of starting controversy in order to, get your clicks on their article, period. And I'm seeing a lot of, Americans are like rejecting Harry now that he's dished on what the royal family is doing. No, I'm going to actually ask you in the press to take a consideration that you've been shoving this shit down our throat for 2 weeks and we're done. Okay. We're just done hearing about it. We're going to listen to the book or read the book and make up our own, thoughts about it.
Yeah.
And, I think it's a really well done book. I think it's very much catharsis for him to be able to speak these things, to say these things, and to have his point of view heard without having bad writers come in and try to twist it into something just designed to get you to click on it.
Yeah.
And, as you can see, they're still doing it. And they will continue to do it because that is the MO of the tabloid press.
Yes.
For some of you may know, I went to college for journalism. And one of the things, honestly, that turned me off of ever becoming a reporter, and this was not the straw that broke the camel's back. The straw that broke the camel's back was that I had a baby under the age of 2 and couldn't go chasing ambulances in the middle of the night to pay your dues as an up-and-coming reporter. But this was one thing that really left a bad taste in my mouth, because I went to my course advisor and I said, I want a job that shares good news. I don't want to add to the misery of the planet. I don't want to put a spotlight or a flashlight on horrible things that are happening. I want to, expand and pay attention to, appreciate, literally in the definition of the term appreciate, to cause to grow and to expand the good things that are happening to me or to the world. And he looked at me dead in my face and said, honey, that's PR, not news. And I went, oh, I'm in the wrong field.
Yeah, but that's how they make their money,
it is.
It
is.
Yeah.
And I could, as much as I love to climb a tree to get a particular camera angle, I just don't think that that's legitimate to do that over somebody's 12-foot rock wall.
Yeah, I agree.
Not appropriate.
Yeah.
So I would never have made it. I would never have made it. So Miss Krista, I'm hoping that you're ready because I'm going to bring you in. Maybe. She's not showing up as, no, there she went. Bye-bye.
Maybe she could go on the phone like she did the last time. She logged in through her phone.
Possibly. We'll see. But if she doesn't have bandwidth that way, she might not. I don't know. All right. She's trying. She's out there. I promise. She's trying to come back in here.
She's in the ethers.
Through the ethers. Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. I'm trying. I've been playing with, we have a couple of Wi-Fi networks in the house. So I just played with a variety of them. And
you're not freezing. We can hear you fine. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Excellent.
This is good. So I want to say hi to everybody who's here. Sue, Hair Bear, whoever else is in there. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us today. If you happen to be watching this on replay, put replay in the comments. Thank you again for taking the time when you can find the time to watch our little thing here, our little project.
Yes.
So, Miss Krista, how has things been for you over there?
Well, it's been very quiet. Because we sent Genevieve back home to the States on Friday. And so we spent the weekend enjoying. And we've had a lot of snow. And we're expecting more snow, which is kind of cool. So I'm really taking that as a permission slip to relax and to unwind and to get the house back in order. And yeah, because we're going to hit the road traveling once again here in the not too distant future.
Nice.
Yeah.
How long have you actually been in one place? About 3 weeks now? Well, you've been doing a lot of traveling with friends from where you're at. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we've been just traveling local. Well, I say local. Here in Europe is local, but yeah, we've been just doing a lot of stuff here, and it's been fun. And we're going to be traveling still here in Europe. It's not like I'm going to be leaving the continent. There's still so much, you could see and travel and do and still not see it all. But
yeah,
my goal is to see as much as I possibly can.
I love it. And
yes.
Every time you talk about traveling, the thought pops up in my head where I'm at right now in Southern Vermont. I mean, New Hampshire is like 40 miles away. New York is like 15 miles away. Massachusetts is like 10 miles away. Right. And I think of where you're at, like, that's what it's like. For me to go to another state in less than an hour is like you going to another country.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I can be in another country in less time than that.
And that's the beauty of it,
It is. I mean, it is. It's a really cool thing. And I deep down, I think I've always had that explorer's mindset.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to go and see and do, except here's one of the really interesting things for me and for Kevin, and Kevin's standing right here. So as I say this, they say, hi, Kevin. As I say this, if I'm incorrect, he'll correct me. But for us, it isn't about going to the places that everybody else wants to go to. For us, it's finding the things off the beaten trail. It's finding those unique corners and nooks and crannies, and getting
where the locals go.
That's it. And I was just going to say, getting that insider information from the locals, and that's more our speed. And now I can say a lot of things seem to be driven too by a lot of the history. Because we both enjoy history. We both have our degrees in history. Very different history degrees, but yes, we both have them in history. And so, yeah, it makes it really exciting. So, yeah.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I would be doing the exact same thing you are if I were over there. I really would. I'd be soaking it up as fast as I could.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So he says, I need to separate dedicated routers so she doesn't have to share the same band with the rest. Oh, no, we have. So here, thank you so much, Harry. That is great. Awesome information. My husband, actually, we have routers for each floor of the house.
Gotcha. So when you come down to the kitchen with the moon lamp, like you are now, not up on the third floor, it's a different setup entirely.
It's better. The reception.
Yeah, but she just froze solid right now.
Well, as long as she's there.
I think the first rule of Krista's Wi-Fi is we don't talk about Krista's Wi-Fi.
Yes. Hey, we still have Mercury retrograde in the phase,
Yeah, shadow phase. That's right. When does the shadow phase end? Wait. It hasn't completely ended, has it?
No, it hasn't.
Okay. And then when does it go direct for Mercury, and when does it
well, it went direct on the 18th, but we're still going through the shadow phase.
So the 28th, usually about 10 days.
Yeah.
Hey, there she is again. Oh, no. All right. Well,
this is insanity.
Oh my
Nothing
God.
else. So nothing else, just as an FYI, nothing else is on. No, just me, my phone, and that's it. Oh, and the computer. Nothing else. Kevin isn't watching anything, streaming. There's no streaming music. And it's only him and I in the house. So I'm like, yeah, I'm blaming this on Mercury because this is kind of insane.
Yeah. It could very well be that, but also take into account and consider Okay.
I will.
That throughout, I don't know when your beginning and end of your month, as far as your bill goes, right?
Yeah.
But if you're towards the end of your month and you're getting up there as far as your quote unquote unlimited, it's never unlimited, right? They give you so much that they imagine you could never possibly use. But for this past month, with Kevin, with Jen, with everybody else, you may be approaching that unlimited and they may be throttling you. So
that could be a true story. True story. I will keep that in mind as well. So yeah. I will mention that.
Okay.
This is crazy.
Right? All right. Well, let's keep moving while we can. Miss Damaris, you ready to go?
All right. So I'm going to start with the number. I think it worked well the last time. And it's so funny because we're talking about travel and being the explorer. And that's exactly that number. Vibration number 5 is that. It's freedom. It's, being adventurous, living life to the fullest, not wanting to be restricted. If there's a key statement for the number 5, it would be do not control me. They do not want to be controlled. Unfortunately, I didn't know about the numbers when at my first marriage, and I married a number 5, and it was horrific. Let me just put it that way. His life path number was 5, and it just wasn't compatible with mine, and he wanted freedom. And usually that vibration, when someone is under that 5 life path number, marriage is not a really good thing for them because they don't want the commitment. They don't want to be tied down. They want to be free. And sometimes that's good and sometimes that's not, depending on the other person's life path number. But that vibration is definitely one of, they want to literally live the 5 senses, right? They want to explore the 5 senses. And they want to travel to do that well. So they're just free spirited, I'm surprised you're not a 5, Krista.
Yeah, I was just thinking she and Kevin both could be compatible 5s.
Right? I mean, they love to travel and history and exploration and all of that. That sounds like their vibration. I know it's not, but also it's ruled by Mercury and co-ruler Uranus. And Uranus is just, it's just that. It's freedom. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit with the planets. But that vibration, it's what it's all about. I don't know, the 5, when left out of control, if it doesn't have the right mindset from that Mercury energy, it could be reckless. It could be that person, if a life path, it could be, the person could be promiscuous. They want to explore different people. So they could be promiscuous. So I don't know that, for some people it works but I don't know if it, some marriages are like, open marriages, and that could work, right? I'm not that type. So that didn't work for me. Some people swing, some couples. So
oh my gosh. Keep talking. I want to interject in a second, but I gotta show you guys something. Hold on.
Okay. All right. So the bottom line, the energy of the vibration 5, whether it's in a person's life path or just the vibration, let's say, of the day, it's really the explorer. It's really, living life to the fullest. It's traveling. It's freedom. It does not want to be controlled by any sense of the word. Again, like I said, the key word would be do not control me, because they rebel. You think about a Leo, right? Leo is the 5th. In the chart is the 5th house. So it has a lot of like all of that quality as well.
Look at me.
Yes.
It does. What were you
it really does. Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
No. I mean, that's the Leo vibe. It's look at me.
Yeah. And Leo wants to be the king of the jungle, right? Or the lioness of the jungle. It doesn't want nobody else to be, above it. Right. And so that is that vibration of that 5. Again, when it's a life path, and also the life path 5, there's only one life path number 1, another 5, and a 7 that's really compatible. All the other numbers are really not compatible with that vibration. So it's hard if you're, let's say, like 11 or a 2, because I'm not always vibrating at the 11, to, you know, match myself with a 5. It's not going to work. I didn't know that. If I would have known numerology then, I would have avoided a lot of issues.
Well, there was obviously a lesson in there that your guides went, get this one in under the radar before she figures it out.
Yes. Yep. You're right, Gayle. You're right.
Yeah. And sometimes those lessons are valuable. So
I agree. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about self-worth in that first relationship, you know. But so I needed it, you know. I needed it. But now I'm like, wait, what's the life path number? You know, I check.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not jiving with you anymore. No.
Not in a marriage. No.
Go away. No.
I saw this reel on TikTok the other day that's like dating in the 2020s is like, third question, what time were you born?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so important because, I mean, we could alleviate a lot of issues, right? A lot of problems, right? Definitely it's good to check because to see if you're compatible. I mean, sometimes people like to take on a project. The only projects that I want to do is stuff like this.
Right. Exactly.
The ones that make me laugh.
Yes. Well,
I got my little thing I got to show you. Okay.
Okay.
So, all right. So for Christmas, a dear friend got me a wonderful pair of gloves. From this store called Rob Logan Castle. And it's all Scottish stuff that it's like manufactured in Scotland and brought to America. And she got me these beautiful gloves. But my hands have been doing that neuropathy thing, the tingling or whatever. And when I put the gloves on, they were just so snug around my fingers that it just irritated that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I asked her permission because I don't normally take gifts back in any way, shape, or form. But I hated to not be able to wear these gloves. They were gorgeous. But I took them back to the store and I found something else that was my speed that I had been looking at last October. And I just love the story of these things. They're called heather gems. Okay. And
I love heather.
Yeah, they take the stems of the heather plants and they dye them, and then when they dry in different colors, they compress them together in a block, and then slice the block and carve certain things and make heather gems out of them. So this is the heather gem that I found that I just fell in love with back in October.
Oh, beautiful! That's gorgeous.
Nice.
And when I looked at it in the display case, I thought that these little, from a distance, snowflake-looking things were clawed, right? The little hands coming out to the crown and the heart. And I'm like, oh, how beautiful, right? So I'm like, okay, I'll take this instead of the gloves. And I get it home and I open the box and I look really, really close. They're not clawed off. They're pineapples.
No, that's thistle.
Oh, is that
pineapples?
Well, they look like pineapples, and I'm not wearing them to any swinger resorts. Okay.
Well, you're good because it's thistle. It's not a pineapple.
Okay, good to know. It's Scottish pineapple.
Awesome.
So funny, but the stone is beautiful.
That's awesome.
That stone is beautiful.
Thank you very much. I love it. I'm looking for all kinds of opportunities to wear it. But when you mentioned that swingers thing, that's where I was like, oh my God, I got a story for you.
Well, definitely that vibration also brings people that are swingers, because they want to explore. They want to try different things. They want to be with different mates. They don't want to be tied down. They don't want to, you know what I mean? They want to just, keep searching, I guess, exploring,
That is so funny. Yeah. So I have to tell you something real, not to divert too much, but about pineapples. Okay. So in the Navy world, for us, it doesn't mean swingers. It means welcome.
Yeah, that's what I had originally been told. Yes. It's a Hawaiian symbol of welcome.
It's well, and it's a nautical one because like go to Mystic Seaport or Williamsburg or any of the old towns and that are associated with waterways. It all has to do with when the sailors would come back and they would put a pineapple out to say that yes, they were willing to receive guests, because when your
husband became a swinger symbol.
Yeah, that could be it too.
Willing to receive guests.
So what the funniest thing is it is customary and it is not unusual when in our wardrooms, that's officer mess, when new families come, that we give them something with a pineapple on it.
You realize that this is the beginning of a 10-minute stand-up thing about the Navy, right?
It's all good. It's all good. And I will happily give more information because that is kind of funny.
Okay,
that really
is. You gotta finish this thought. What's this?
When is it
upside down? I guess the pineapple.
Oh, maybe no.
Oh, see, upright welcome, upside down swinger.
There you go.
Oh,
welcome swingers. No, but
well, we're
as much as
I learned something.
Thistle, it's funnier as a pineapple.
You're right, but it is a thistle. It is a thistle. I promise you that.
Okay, good.
So funny. All right.
Oh my God! So we learned something about pineapples.
Yes, we did. Let me go to the astrology.
Yes.
All right. So, all right, I'm going to speak about Saturn going in. Well, it's been in Aquarius. It's going to leave Aquarius in March 7th, I believe. But anyhow, so that energy since 2020 has been there, which is all about the restrictions, and the Aquarius energy, which is ruled by Uranus, wants freedom. If I ask, have we been free? I don't think so. I mean, we've been restricted in so many ways, censorship, in so many other ways we've been restricted. We're not really free. I mean, we're freer than in other countries, I guess, but not completely sovereign, right? So that energy, that's what it wants to do. It wants us to break free. It wants us to, not be governed, not be controlled, just like the 5 vibration, do not control me. That's a Uranus energy. Same thing, in order for us to really be sovereign, I feel like, again, with that Uranus energy, we have to all come together to become sovereign. I read a meme the other day, and it was how we've been enslaved with taxes, and they tax everything. Everything is taxed, and it's a form of enslavement, and so we've never been really free. I'm not saying we shouldn't pay taxes, but I mean, really, it's just way too much what we're doing. I don't know about other countries, but in the United States.
It's nothing.
I know. That's what I was
saying.
It
is nothing. I love listening to Americans be like, oh, we're so overtaxed. I'm like, oh, y'all don't have a clue.
I don't understand why. But yet you go down the roads and they're all jacked up, and it's like,
So I promise you, like where they have the roads here are amazing. The roads are amazing.
Something's not right.
The healthcare is amazing. So I know where the money is going.
Something is not right in the US. In the US.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Something's not right.
Well, I think honestly the difference comes down to, and I don't know how Europeans are. I'm not even going to begin to try and extrapolate that, but I know here politicians get to lie to us and tell them anything that we will listen to give them our vote, and then we don't have any function for holding them accountable after they get into office. So they don't actually have to fulfill on their promises. Yeah. And then there's always somebody with their hand in the frickin' pie between the tax dollars and what it was earmarked to do for the public.
Yes. 100%.
And it's that people getting frustrated with that caused the things like January 6th.
Yeah. So this is what that energy is, right? This Saturn energy and versus the Aquarian energy. It's like, okay, how much more we're going to take of this? I feel, and in my perception, politicians supposed to represent us and supposed to, do what's in our best interest, but that's not what has been happening. Right. And so how much longer do we take that? How much longer do we keep being controlled and lied to? And so that's what this energy is about, breaking free of that. I don't know how that's going to work, but that's what the energy is about. It's breaking free of that control and that limitation, if you will, because we're really not sovereign. We're not, And
I was reading something just recently about the fact that, and I don't recall exactly where, but they're taking another look at where people are being multi-taxed. Okay. Yeah. So for example, I buy an acre of land and I pay the tax on that purchase. And then every year the state charges me more tax for something that I've already purchased.
Yes.
Right. So these multi-taxing things may be what we're hoping is the first level of undoing what has been overdone.
So even the like, for example, property taxes, right? I pay like $15,000 in property taxes. Most of it goes to the schools, right? And my kids are out of school already. Why couldn't it be reduced if my kids are out of school, right? Why couldn't it be adjusted in some way?
Because it's not tuition. And you benefit from having an educated populace surrounding you, whether you have children or not.
Well, I think
you want to pay tuition, should be, you want to pay an extra money for actually having kids in school. You could go that way. It should be
adjusted, in my opinion. That's what I said, my opinion. I understand where you're coming from. I don't want to pay $15,000, a year in taxes. I don't. So that's
insane.
Yeah,
that's New York.
Yeah. I was going to say that's New York, but that's insane. That's okay. That's why I'm not moving to New York.
And you shouldn't, because we're looking to get out of New York.
May I recommend, may we make a recommendation? Just, move a little north.
Bring it.
Move a little bit further north.
Listen,
honestly,
I don't want to be
New Hampshire is 40 miles to the east. They have no taxes there. None.
Yeah, but their property tax is high. So I have all 50 states broken down because of course
you do.
Well, when you're getting ready to retire, you know what I mean.
Are you coming back to the States or you're staying in Europe?
No, she's still back here.
We're going to turtle back in that area. However, we still, need to have a
home base.
We need to have a place.
Yeah.
Someplace to land, someplace to be. So we haven't quite decided on the exact state. However, Maine is one of them, Massachusetts. But if it's Massachusetts, I prefer Western Massachusetts.
Okay.
Yeah, I would recommend within 50 miles of me. That'd be good.
Yeah, I figure,
Well, we're going to be looking ourselves because we just can't get taxed to death anymore. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah. If you don't feel that you're getting value out of what you're paying in taxes, then by all means, you need to shift that. And like Ace was saying, I don't know whether Ace is a male or a female, but they agree with you that,
it should be adjusted. I'm sorry. It should be adjusted. That's just my opinion. It doesn't have to be right or wrong. It's just how I feel.
Yeah. Reverse is just as valid. If you do have kids in the system, maybe your taxes should go up because you're paying, you're getting your children educated.
Yes. And I wouldn't mind. Right. And I don't think education is free, by the way. I don't think.
No.
It's not. I don't think it is. Again, we go back to the control system, right? If we were in control, I would say what curriculum I would like in the school, in the school's curriculum. Astrology would be part of it, right? Right. Knowing the self. but I'm not, I'm not privy to those committees.
Right.
But I am paying the taxes for it.
Right.
Do you see where the problem lies?
Well, yeah, and also the parents that homeschool their kid, they don't get a stipend for
No,
supplies.
no.
And if we're paying for education, then they should have some sort of homeschooling credit
100%.
that they don't pay taxes, because that's money they need for the supplies. Anyways, huge side conversation.
But this is what I'm saying. This is the control, right, of Saturn, which we can go on so many levels. This is taxes is just one of them. And, being free. We're not really free. I'm sorry. We're free, from other, countries. They're worse, right? They're worse off, but we're still not sovereign, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we have to find a way to collectively come together, which is that Aquarian energy is collectively coming together to then say, wait a second, we should destroy these systems that are not working and that are not for the people, and create one that will be. And so that's what the energy is, and that's what's coming. I don't know how long it will take for all of that to take place, but that is the upcoming energy that is coming. And so that's what we have to do. When we look at the Aquarian energy, we have to also look at the opposite, which is the Leo energy, right? Which I was talking about Leo before. Leo is all about the individuality and knowing the self. Once you know yourself as an individual, then you can come together collectively with other people so that you don't get stepped on, you don't get, you come with your own power of that Leo energy, of the individuality, knowing yourself, knowing your confidence, and then bringing that to a group. And so that everybody gets to, in that group, if you worked on the Leo energy, everybody comes with their own creativity, their own, uniqueness and confidence, and bringing it forward.
Nice. Very cool. Does that seem utopic to you? That's a bad word.
I had a post yesterday or the other day, and a lady that I wrote a post yesterday, and a lady that I know commented and said that, only when everybody is in a positive place and stop being negative do we shift into that reality. That would take another 1,000 years.
Well, it's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen.
Well, because remember, not everybody understands that the positivity, you have a choice. And now that could create a whole other ball game of conversation and debate. She said we have choice. I have no choice. The choice being, it doesn't mean bad things aren't going to happen. And the choice meaning that you aren't going to suffer and have tragedy and everything else. However, the choice is being to keep yourself in that lower vibration, or say, you know what, I'm going to overcome. I am going to move on. I'm going to thrive. I'm not going to survive. I'm going to do better. I'm going to thrive, and lift that vibration with each choice that you make. And
it's almost like, what I was talking about living in New York. Okay, if the taxes are not going to shift in this state, then I got to leave. I'm not going to stay. So staying would be just, it is what it is, and just being enslaved for the rest of my life, with taxes. I'm not doing that. I want to live my life more. I want to, have more money to experience more things instead of giving it to taxes. And that's where it comes in. You have to make a decision. You have to make a choice. Do I want to stay here in a tax enslaved state, or do I want to live somewhere else where I'm not being taxed to death and live better? And
then that begs the question: in those other places, can you actually make the same money that you're making in the tax enslaved states? Because everything is on a continuum, whether it's positive, negative, or whatever, right? Yeah. So there's less opportunity for me to make the kind of money that I was making in Arizona in Vermont. All right. Now the cost of living is a whole lot less too.
I'm just going to say this, and maybe it will give you an answer or not. When we become sovereign, like I work mostly virtually. So no matter where I am, I could be in Japan and my price still the same. So someone is going to pay me the price that lives wherever, right? So that's sovereign too. I had to leave, a career, if you will, because I went to school for early childhood education. I wanted to be sort of like a teacher in my preschool kind of thing, in my daycare. But I was ruled by the state. I was ruled by the neighbors. I was ruled by the town. I wasn't sovereign. And that's what I'm talking about. When we begin to tap into
I'm also asking you to look a little bit deeper, because even though you can work from the internet anywhere now, we still have bald spots for internet service in the United States. So somebody is controlling where you can actually work or not. And
that's
the cost of access to the internet is varied all over the place. So again, you're, being somebody's hand in your cookie jar, right? And it's a bigger hand in this state than it is in that state.
Yeah, it's not the same as me going to physically to a job, is what I'm saying. It's not the same.
No, but I'm just, it really is a matter of where is your perspective on it? Like you originally said, 15 grand a year. Yeah, no big deal. Take it. I'll make more. Or screw you. Yes. I need this money. You're not taking it.
That's where I am, Gayle.
Awesome. Yes. All right, we gotta move on to Miss Krista. Just love hearing her try to say this word.
All right. I have all day been trying to practice this word. I really have. So everybody, are you all ready for some comedy here? Because let me tell you. So before I butcher the word completely, I want to say that this particular stone, crystal, mineral, is absolutely ideal. So it's molybdenite. Molybdenite. We've decided to be silent.
Okay.
No. Oh, she says, okay, say it again. Molybdenite.
Molybdenite. Like malignant. Right. Live like liberal. Yep. Den like den mother. There we
go. See, I told you. Molybdenite.
It sounds good.
Yay! Good job.
Yay! All right. I'll tell you what. Some of these men this is probably one of my only ones. There's only one other one that I stumble with, but this is the one that always gets me. So the molybdenite is an awesome one because it's self-realization. Yep. And it encourages self-reflection. It stimulates your creative thought process. And then it helps you to create those into manifesting your realities. So the fact that it's a number 5 today, the fact that everything that Damaris was saying about your self-realization.
Yeah, the Leo energy.
In the Leo energy of
knowing yourself individually.
Yes, the individual self and knowing yourself, right? This is an ideal one. And it was kind of funny. I was sitting here earlier and I'll tell you, I haven't felt great this afternoon. As a matter of fact, at one point I was like, oh no, I may have to call in sick. But I'm feeling a little bit better. Right. So, but I was sitting and I was thinking about this particular stone, and I was reading up on it a bit. And with a lot of the stuff, like we were discussing, we're doing research for retiring from the military, and we're really things are happening because that's next year. 2024 is next year, so it's
real. Like really fast.
It is. And it's real. Like, yesterday Kevin brought home from work this binder, and it's all these handy dandy retirement websites, right? And he's all excited because it's a binder and he likes binders. He gets really excited about binders.
Oh my God.
He really does.
I love
it. He may actually
he's a binder.
He does. He loves binders, and it keeps him organized.
Put a sticker on it.
Yes. Oh, I should put a 3 crown sticker on it.
Yeah.
That's what I need to do. Wow, I should do that. But so and I was thinking about this, and I'm like, wow, this crystal and everything. Remember, these crystals all were selected last May or June. Okay, so this was all done months and months and months ago. And I mean, I'm sitting here and I'm looking at these crystals and just the first 4 that have come up. And for anybody who is in that transitioning, or new things are coming, or you feel like that I don't know, you get this sense of movement and flow in your life. So far, that's what we're seeing. But the fact that this one comes up and it helps us with our own confidence and our own self-reflection and our own self-identity, that really adds power.
And I just want to say something, Krista.
Yes, ma'am.
Self-reflection is the key word here, because if we don't reflect on the self and who we really are, we'll never get there.
Well, and it is, and it's true. And people think, oh, self-reflection is this, I'm going to sit and think about myself for a few minutes. And it's really not that. And I mean, we don't have enough time in our 1 hour, and my little, I really don't have enough time to explain about self-reflection. Oh, and FYI, this lovely baby is for Scorpios. Yeah.
Which is ruled by Pluto.
That's right. And so, but it's really, when you're looking at self-reflection, it's from the inside to the outside. It's not just your actions, it's your words, it's how you feel. It's a whole mind, body, spirit connection. It connects you completely when you're looking at that reflection, or at least for me. And you don't want to think, oh, I'm going to go and do this, and it's going to all occur in one session of whatever, or 2 sessions of this, or 3 sessions of that, because it's each layer, or each time you do something, whether it's a meditation, whether you go have a reading done, whether you go for a Reiki session, whether you just, go on a retreat, that's, you're uncovering and opening up one layer of that self-reflection and that self-realization and the confidence in being who you want to be. But here's the really interesting aspect of it. You can do it each and every day.
Yeah.
One small thing at a time. Yeah. Because you might think that it has to be big, but really and truly, it's one thing at a time. Self-reflection is it is an inside job, but it's small things. When I work with health and fitness, I'll just do this in a way that you guys can really connect with it. So when I'd be sitting down with my client and we'd be going over, they're like, oh, I want to lose weight, or I want to do this, or I want to do that. One of the things that I would get them to talk about, well, how do you eat? What's your normal eating? What's your normal eating habit, or what's your normal are you somebody who only eats 3 meals? Are you somebody who eats 5 or 6 small meals? Are you a grazer? Because that helps. Knowing that helps a lot. And, and it's very interesting because like a human tendency is they don't want to necessarily admit the truth when they're talking to the doctor, to the dentist, to the personal trainer. Yeah, to the priest, for confession. These are things that it's like, well, I'll kind of furry coat it here a little bit and make it look sugary and make me look like I'm doing the right thing. But the more questions we ask or the more quiet we are, the more you get that information. So when you're looking at that self-reflection, that's what it is. You have to ask yourself, okay, are you going to try to sugarcoat it for yourself? Or are you going to, like you would maybe a doctor, or are you going to be honest with yourself?
That would be the I am, wouldn't it be?
It is. It is a lot of I am.
Yeah, it is, right?
It really is I am.
Because the 11th house would be I am that I am, when you got it.
Yeah. So when you are doing that reflection, but Leo doesn't reflect.
Leo, well, that's the problem. Leo's energy should become that, where it reflects and know who he or she is, and not in a way that's controlling others or being aggressive, right?
Yeah.
But knowing the self, that's Leo, knowing, and it's ruled by the sun, which is that's what it means, knowing thyself. When you know yourself individually, then you can work with other people. Nobody is going to sort of like step all over you because you're not going to allow it. You know who you are, right? It's that confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
You can't go work with somebody else when you're not confident with yourself, because they'll walk all over you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, true story on that. No joke. But yeah, so if you are going to be working with this wonderful, I'm going to try it again. No, I'm not. Stone.
What? Molybdenite.
See, there you go. Molybdenite. If you are going to work with this wonderful stone, molybdenite, it really is one that will help you also on a physical level. I wanted to share, because those of us who are getting our achy joints and stuff, the really other good aspect about it is that molybdenite is considered a lubricant for our bodies, for our mind, our body, and soul, because it connects to our lymphatic system and all the fluids, and like our kidneys and our blood flow and our bladder. So it keeps that fluid retention reduced, which is always a lovely thing on a physical side. So I thought I'd share that, because I get a sense there are some people that, well, actually, I know a couple of people who are watching who that could really benefit right now.
Yes.
All right, Gayle.
You can only eat so much turmeric.
That's true.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much for that, Krista. And as I'm listening to you, I'm like, damn, is she gonna leave me anything left to talk about?
Even your topic, really, it just
full circle. There 100%. We go.
Absolutely. So I want to actually start by riffing off of that self-reflection thing. Right? Because we, like Krista was saying, we tend to hear self-reflection and we go, oh, navel gazing. Oh, let me sit in the corner and think about what I've done. Yeah. And it's not that. It's how you see yourself. Like truly, like as if you walked up to a mirror and went, oh, that's my blonde hair. Oh, that's my green eyes. Those are knowing ourselves, like, oh, when I'm confronted with somebody that's like this is my response. And does this work for me or not? That is self-reflection, right? Allowing all of those different levels of ourselves to work together in order to have confidence in who we are, clarity about how we were created and how we've grown ourselves and designed our futures based on our actions today. All of that goes into this self-reflection. And all of that self-reflection really lends itself well to having clarity, to having confidence, right? And knowing the direction that we're headed, right?
100%.
So often, and even myself in the last few years, I'd be like, I'm stuck. I don't know what I want to do. And here's the fact the bottom line that I had to accept and swallow, bitter as it was. The fuck you don't know what you want. You do know what you want. You do know what you're capable of, and you can have confidence in being able to deliver those things. Now, the reality for me, and I'm going to suggest maybe for you too, is that we've been practiced and trained into this. Once you show up at a certain level, that level gets expected of you. Can you maintain that over the long haul? Or do you want to reserve the right to shrink back and not be accountable for what you can actually bring to the planet on an ongoing basis?
I love that.
To deal with, right?
Okay. Can I add?
Yes.
I want us to change this. It just came to me. So rather than thinking of it as shrinking back, why don't we if show up full, balls on, balls to the wall? Yes, that's a naval term.
That sounds beautiful.
And you show up and you're fully on, but when you're shrinking back, you aren't shrinking back. What you're doing is you're stepping back to rejuvenate.
Fine. I like it.
That's called self-care, people.
Yes.
Self-care.
Yep.
And that's permitted.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It just came to me. We had to talk.
No, I'm glad you put that in because that's beautiful. Reframing that it's not a matter of weakening. It's a matter of regrouping.
It
right?
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. And we do tend to, or at least I tend to look at, if I can't be 100% on stage all the time, there's that part of me that feels like it's going to go into obscurity and never find its way out again. Right? Like I can't depend on myself to be able to pull myself forward. And what all of this little bit of talk today is about, as far as finding the clarity, the confidence, and the direction, is that you really do know what it is that you were brought here to do. You really do know every component of what needs to be done in order to have that thing happen. And don't get me wrong, sometimes what you know about a certain component is that you need to hire somebody else to do that bit because you're not the best at it that you could be, or you don't like it, or you don't want to. But instead of letting that little component stop you, you can, with confidence, go, there's somebody out there that's ready to do this bit. Where do I find them? How do I call them to me? How do I engage them? And I know you've all done it. You've had those strange little questions pop up in your head when you're talking to somebody. And when you have the balls to actually ask that question, you find this whole new world about this person that you never knew before.
Yeah.
Right? So in any situation, just having that confidence that if a question appears to you, let it come out your mouth and then watch the world open up in front of you. All right. And sometimes that gives us our direction. Sometimes when we take one step forward, the path appears in front of us, right? And sometimes when we take 3 steps forward, we discover that path isn't necessarily the path that we intended, and we can take a side trip and go around the Black Forest, so to speak. Okay? Yep. So knowing that, there's never a moment that you're not moving in the right direction. So just keep going, right?
The key is to keep moving.
Sometimes it can be at a 15-degree angle from the path. Just keep going. What were you going to say, Krista?
And it's the key is to keep moving. And, and changing trajectory is not a bad thing. That's how sailboats gain their wind. Yep. They have to keep altering.
Yes.
Anybody who sails.
And they say the same thing for airplanes. Like there's 100 minute course corrections from going from San Diego to Hawaii. Yeah. Right. It's not like you put it in immediately and it, you never have to
alter anything. Yeah. No.
Even going down the road, it's constantly recalibrating that
wheel,
steering wheel.
Yeah. Riding a bike. Same
right?
thing. You have to move it, right?
You
So
said
nothing.
something that clicked for me. You said self-correction, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like other people help us with our self-correction,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because if we're in that ego, right, in the Leo ego, we're controlling and dominating and ruling other people. We don't want to do that. Other people can say to us, like, calm down or do it a different way, so they can help us self-correct. That's why we need that other energy of the Aquarius.
Sometimes it takes other people's energy to bring to us the awareness that what we're doing is not fulfilling on what we want to have happen.
Exactly.
Yeah, very helpful at times. Absolutely.
Yes.
All right, my ladies, we have gone a little bit long today, so I want to skip through to the rest of the stuff and get to that as fast as we can. Today's card is the Knight of Pentacles. So it is amazing energy for what we're talking about today. So working on a project that's important to you. You have a very practical and strategic mindset that will serve you well. So don't get caught up in little details. Keep moving and producing, right? Keep that moving forward. And you can always come back and refine things later. All right. The Knight of Pentacles is a slow-moving, cautious, and dependable person. Very careful about everything that he does, and sometimes gets so caught up in the details that progress is halted. What were we just talking about? You get the idea that you're not going the right way. You stop. No. Veer off on a slightly different trajectory and keep moving forward. All right? The progress that the Knight of Pentacles makes is always sturdy and long-lasting. All right? A loyal and reliable friend. He may sometimes be boring or stubborn, but he gives well thought out and practical advice and can be controlling, but may value principles and rules over all else. There's that Saturn energy again popping up. He values comfort and security and loves luxury. Well, who wouldn't, right? And he's able to take what he's learned from academic studies and past experiences and use them in a very practical way. So once again, we're back to that clarity, that confidence, that direction, that sense of direction, that ability to keep moving forward and not stop. Okay. Now that is not a forceful energy.
No.
That is a sturdy, dependable, going for the long game energy.
I like that energy, actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. And we want to say congratulations to this week's Woo Woo giveaway winner, Miss Megan Greer. Congratulations. Woohoo! All right. And so all you have for Megan and for anyone else who does not know how this works, each week we three gives away a 30-minute reading from one of us. All right. So if you would like to choose me to do your reading, it will be an intuitive tarot reading. If you choose Miss Krista to do your reading, it will be a crystal reading. Or if you choose Miss Damaris to do your reading, it will be a numerology reading. And all you got to do is reach out to us in Facebook Messenger and say, I choose you, or something like that. And we will get you on our schedule immediately, if not sooner, whatever works for both of us conveniently. Now, for any of the rest of you that did not win this week, know that we have office hours that we offer the same type of thing on a pay-as-you-go visit situation. So again, you can get an intuitive tarot reading from me. You can get a crystal reading from Krista or a numerology reading from Damaris. But don't forget also that we offer other things as well. Like Damaris also does astrology charts, right?
Yeah.
And Krista does other things as well, and so do I. So if you're interested in getting any kind of reading whatsoever, reach out to one of us and ask, what do you offer? Right? And we will answer accordingly. All right. Awesome stuff. All right, everyone. Thank you again so much for being with us this week. I really enjoyed this time today. We kind of went off on a tangent a couple of times.
We went swinging.
But yeah, we went swinging all over the place. So it's been a wonderful, wonderful day, though. And thank you, everyone, for being here. And thank you again to the people who support us week after week and contribute to this adventure that we've been on. Thank you so much and have a wonderful week. Bye.